Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to tackle one of those really tricky questions you see in a maths exam. The ones that ask you to explain the mistake. To figure it out, we're going straight to the source, an official mark scheme, to find out what a perfect full mark answer actually looks like. Let's jump in.
So imagine this, you're in an exam, you see some working, you know it's wrong, but how do you actually explain what is wrong in a way that gets you the marks? You might think it's kind of subjective, but it turns out the examiners are looking for something very, very specific. So to find out exactly what we should be writing, we're not going to guess. We're going straight to the horse's mouth, the official exam mark scheme. This is literally the instruction booklet the examiners use to mark your paper.
And here it is. This is the exact entry for the question we're looking at. You can see it's worth 1 mark. That C1 basically means it's a communication mark. And all it says is, for explanation. Okay, but what kind of explanation actually counts? Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The mark scheme doesn't just give you some vague advice. Oh no, it gives us a list of the exact answers that would get you that full mark. It's basically like getting the cheat codes for the exam.
All right, let's look at the first example. This is a fantastic answer because it's so precise. It hits the nail on the head by stating the mathematical rule the student broke. When you're factorizing, the numbers need to add to make the middle term and multiply to make the last term. Simple as that.
Here's another one that's just as good, but it's said a little differently. This answer is like a diagnosis. It pinpoints the student's exact confusion. They knew about sums and products, they just got them totally mixed up. Perfect explanation. And would you look at this one? This shows you just how simple your answer can be. You do not need to write an entire paragraph. This short, sharp answer gets the mark because it correctly points out the error in the process. The student did things backwards, and that's all this says.
So, are you starting to see the pattern here? What's the one thing all of these correct answers have in common? None of them mention the correct numbers or what the right factorization should be. They all focus purely on the mistake in the method. That's the key.
Okay, so we've seen what to do, but it's just as important to know what not to do. Let's flip this around, because the mark scheme is also crystal clear about the kinds of answers that will get you a big fat 0.
Now, this slide right here is probably the most important one of the whole explainer. On the left, you've got a simple, process-focused answer that gets the mark. On the right, an answer that, let's be honest, a lot of us would probably write, and it gets 0 marks. So what's going on?
It's because just writing down the correct final answer doesn't do what the question asked. The question said to explain the mistake. Giving the right answer shows that you know how to do it, but it doesn't explain why the student's thinking was wrong. You're giving the what when the question is asking for the why.
Okay, so we've taken a deep dive into this mark scheme. We've seen what works and what doesn't. So what's the one big takeaway? What's the golden rule that's going to help you nail these explanation questions every single time?
Here it is, your 3-step golden rule. First, find the mistake in the student's process, in their method. Second, describe that specific process error. And third, this is the big one, do not just write down the correct final answer. Always, always focus on the method.
And really, that brings us to a final thought. This isn't just about one type of exam question. This skill, being able to explain the process, the why behind an answer, not just the what, that's what real mathematical understanding is all about. So as you're revising, ask yourself, do I just know what to do, or can I actually explain why I'm doing it?